Welcome back. In this video, we're diving deep into everything from seasons 1 and 2 of the TV series, The Wheel of Time. Whether you've watched all the episodes or need a refresher, we've got you covered. Let's revisit the journeys, the mysteries, and the epic battles. The series begins in the quiet village of Two Rivers, where we meet Rand al-Thor, Egwene Alvere, Perrin Ibarra, Mat Cauthon, and Nynaeve Almayara. Their peaceful lives are upended when Aes Sedai and Aes Sedai and her warder, Lan Mandragoran, arrive in the village. Moraine reveals that one of the five is the Dragon Reborn, a prophesied figure who could either save or destroy the world. As Trollocs, monstrous creatures of the Dark One, attack the village, the group is forced to flee together. Moraine insists that one of them is the dragon, but she keeps the identity a secret. The group begins their journey, but their bonds are tested as they face growing dangers. The group is on the run, and Moraine leads them away from Two Rivers, but they aren't safe yet. The Trollocs are still hot on their heels, so they take refuge in the dangerous and cursed ruins of Shadar Logoth. It's a place where bad things happen, and sure enough, the group gets separated. In the ruins, Mat steals a cursed dagger, and Rand begins to realize he has some strange, unnatural strength. Meanwhile, Perrin and Egwene escape together, and Moiraine and Lan find Nynaeve, who's managed to survive and kill her captors. As the group continues their journey, Mat's dagger starts to corrupt him, and Rand is forced to deal with his mysterious abilities. They're eventually saved by Tom, a mysterious and skilled stranger who helps them fight off a dangerous Fade, a servant of the Dark One. Perrin and Egwene stumble upon a peaceful group called the Tinkers, who reject violence and live a nomadic lifestyle. While with them, Perrin discovers that he may have some sort of connection to wolves, and Egwene starts showing signs of being able to channel the One Power. However, their journey takes a dark turn when they're captured by the White Cloaks, a fanatical group that hunts people who can channel. Egwene is tortured, but with her newfound abilities, she and Perrin manage to escape and free themselves from the White Cloaks' grasp. Moiraine, Lan, and Nynaeve end up in the company of other Aes Sedai who have captured Logain, a male channeler who claims to be the Dragon Reborn. Male channelers are dangerous because they tend to go mad from the power they wield. After a failed escape attempt, Logain attacks the group, wounding Lan severely. In a moment of intense power, Nynaeve taps into the One Power to heal everyone, including Lan. The Aes Sedai, fearing Logain's power, force him to lose his connection to the One Power permanently. The group takes Logain to Tar Valon, the city of the Aes Sedai, where he's sentenced to life imprisonment. Meanwhile, the rest of the group is reunited in Tar Valon, and Moiraine helps Mat recover from the curse of the dagger. With their injuries healed, they set off toward a mysterious location called the Eye of the World. The group arrives at Faldara, a city on the edge of the Blight, a dangerous and twisted wasteland. The group faces a tough decision. Which one of them could be the true Dragon Reborn? Moiraine confides in Rand that only the true Dragon Reborn would survive the journey to the Eye of the World, where the Dark One is imprisoned. Rand starts to suspect that he might be the Dragon Reborn, and he decides to leave his friends behind. He believes the only way to protect them from the danger ahead is to face the Dark One alone. The Dark One isn't done yet. He sends a massive army of Trollocs to Faldara, overwhelming the city's defenses. During the battle, Nynaeve and Egwene combine their powers to fight back against the Trollocs, but the effort takes a toll. All the other channelers die from the exertion, leaving Nynaeve and Egwene as the only survivors. Moiraine and Rand make their way to the Eye of the World, where the Dark One's power is the strongest. Before they leave, Moiraine gives Rand a sangreal, a powerful artifact that will help him channel more power. They enter the Eye and come face to face with the Dark One. The Dark One tries to manipulate Rand by offering him a vision of a perfect life with Egwene, but Rand sees through the illusion and uses the sangreal to strengthen the Dark One's imprisonment. Fearing that he might go mad like past male channelers, Rand decides to leave his friends behind. He asks Moiraine to tell them he's dead, sparing them from the danger of the Dark One's influence. Moiraine, now powerless, warns Lan that the real battle is just beginning. The season finale ends on a massive cliffhanger. As Moiraine and Lan make their way out of the Eye of the World, a fleet of channelers arrives on the western shores. Using their powers, they create a giant tsunami that sweeps everything in its path, leaving the future of the world hanging in the balance. Aes Sedai, now powerless, struggles to find her place without the One Power. She and Lan journey to the city of Kyrian, where they seek refuge and unravel the growing tension surrounding Rand al'Thor, the Dragon Reborn. Rand hides his identity and works in a madhouse to control the madness creeping in due to his powers. Meanwhile, Mat is imprisoned by the Red Ajah in the White Tower, where Liandrin intensifies his torment. Egwene and Nynaeve are still in training, facing obstacles in their path to becoming full Aes Sedai. Perrin embarks on a quest to track Padan Fine and retrieve the stolen horn of Valere. The episode introduces new challenges, alliances, and sets up the ominous threat of the Shara and their connection to the Dark One. Rand continues hiding in Kyrian, but is forced into a violent confrontation, which leads to him taking on more responsibilities. Meanwhile, Mat's situation worsens under Liandrin's cruel influence. Egwene and Nynaeve face their own trials in Tar Valon, with Egwene struggling to control her powers under the watchful eye of the Aes Sedai. Perrin, with Elias's help, searches for Fane, but he's also confronted by the evolving strength of his bond with the wolves. Moiraine, still adjusting to life without her powers, uncovers a disturbing connection between her destiny and the unfolding events, all while tension builds between Rand and Lanfear. Perrin's journey to find Fine intensifies, and he faces the reality of the Shara's power to control channelers. Moraine's internal conflict deepens as she grapples with her loss of the One Power. Mat is freed by Liandrin, and his uncertain path leads him to Min, who reveals unsettling visions about his future. Rand, continuing to spiral into madness, has a passionate encounter with Lanfear, only to cause an accidental disaster. As the Dark One's influence spreads, the characters realize their paths are all intertwined, setting the stage for a larger conflict. Nynaeve, Egwene, and Elaine continue their Aes Sedai training, but are captured by Liandrin, who forces them to travel through the ways. The women struggle against their captors, but Nynaeve's powers become increasingly important in their survival. Meanwhile, Perrin's bond with the wolves evolves, and he faces the consequences of freeing a mysterious woman. Moiraine and Rand travel toward Kyrian, where their complicated relationship grows, and Rand becomes more dependent on Lanfear to control his madness, despite growing suspicions about her true intentions. Egwene, Nynaeve, and Elaine are ambushed by Liandrin and handed over to the Seanchan in Falme. Nynaeve and Elaine manage to escape, but Egwene is collared and forced into brutal training under Renna's control. Meanwhile, Rand and Moiraine arrive in Cairhien, where Rand is manipulated by Lanfear, who reveals her true identity and tries to sway him to her side. Moiraine, now powerless, struggles to keep Rand on the right path. Perrin and Aviendha continue their journey, encountering White Cloaks led by Dain Bornhald and Aemon Valda. Meanwhile, Mat, still held captive by Liandrin, is freed by Min, who is secretly working for Ishamael. They head toward Falme, where Mat's fate begins to intertwine with Rand's. The Seanchan further solidify their control over Falme. Egwene endures relentless training, her spirit nearly broken as she struggles against the Domain Caller. Nynaeve and Elaine, hiding in the city, plot a way to free her. Perrin and the Isle reach Falme, preparing for battle. Rand, guided by Lanfear, embraces more of his power, but remains wary of her influence. Moiraine and Lan begin working to restore their bond and uncover the extent of Ishamael's plan. Meanwhile, Mat arrives in Falme, where Ishamael begins manipulating him into believing his destiny is tied to Rand's downfall. Moiraine and Rand set sail for Falme, with Lanfear ensuring they arrive at the right moment. Ishamael gathers his forces, preparing for Rand's arrival. Nynaeve and Elaine infiltrate the Seanchan-controlled city, searching for Egwene. Perrin and Aviendha encounter the White Cloaks, who are planning an attack on Falme. Mat, drugged and confused, is presented to Ishamael, who tempts him with visions of his past lives. Rand arrives in Falme, where he is quickly recognized as the Dragon Reborn. The season culminates in a dramatic battle at Fal Dara, where Rand faces Ishamael and his growing connection to the Dark One. In a moment of immense power, Rand finally embraces his role as the Dragon Reborn, channeling the One Power to defeat his enemies. Meanwhile, the Shara's plans are foiled, but the Forsaken are released and the danger is far from over. As the dust settles, the characters are left to deal with the aftermath, knowing that the struggle is far from finished. And there you have it. But as we gear up for what's next, one question remains. Is Rand's ultimate fate sealed, or can he truly escape becoming the tool of the Dark One? Let us know what you think in the comments down below.